Hello everyone, this is Greg. I'm doing a 1-year review on my CR-10 300. It's had no firmware updates. This is the first 3D printer I've ever been exposed to. It was $450 on the bench printing, including shipping. Got it through Amazon. The upgrades that I have done to it are the mirror for a flat bed, the X tensioner I needed because I ran out of tension. The Y is adequate and still has more room to go, so I'm not going to bother with it. I put a metal extruder driver and a stainless steel gear for my extrusion. The brass ones will wear out on you eventually, so when they do, just get a stainless steel. They work great. I'm going to move the camera. I put an O-ring under this cap right here because of the Z slop that was going on. It really rattled. And what I did, and put my spool up on top. And what I had done was just put an O-ring over the housing. You'll see it when you pop it off. There's a housing and a bearing sits inside of it. Well, that housing is just not tight in there. Put an O-ring over it, put the cap back on. Just enough to stop it, make sure that it still moves freely. You haven't captured the bearing. 50-cent fix. Worked great. And then the fan housing, I only did this, it wasn't necessary. I wanted to do it because I wanted to do the 1mm nozzle with a 0.8 layer height. And it actually did, it worked. It works great. And 4 bottom layers, but it still leaks water. Anyways, I'll have to go to 5 or maybe a little lower layer height. I'll have to play with it, but I really want those vases, those big vases, to be watertight. I'll have to play with it, but the print itself is down. It's perfect. The fans, let me see, what else on upgrades? That's it on my upgrades. I have not, I did make these little bed leveling reminders. It just makes it easier for me. If you don't need that, if your brain works that way to where you just see that easily, then don't waste the filament. Now, on repairs, I had to replace recently the fans in the box, but not the power supply. One of the fans I oiled and put on this new airflow system. I got that off of Thingiverse. Everything I've printed for this, I printed off of Thingiverse. There's lots of variants. There's all kinds of stuff to make there. And then I put legs underneath my box because I needed to get it up off the ground. Even on a flat, smooth surface, it still only has just a tiny, tiny little nub sticking out of the bottom. So whatever you need to do, you don't have to print anything, but you just that up off the ground, I would strongly recommend. And as far as the other repairs, bearings, I've replaced the carriage bearings and the bed bearings one time, all of them, and haven't had to do so since. I don't know if they were just, I don't know exactly what happened, but they were making a lot of noise. In fact, this X bearing is starting to fail. I'll replace it after this print. And I have more in the back. Now, the cost of the repair, the fans were $14 each. The bearings, I believe I got a 12-pack for $10 on Amazon. And then I think these little bearings I put in this one were like $3.99 for 5 of them or 6 of them. And plenty, that's plenty. You really don't need, in fact, the extra bearings I had left over from the CR-10, I replaced the bed bearings and the carriage bearings on the longer LK4. They were not round. That corrected a whole bunch of issues. I talked about that in another video, or if I haven't, I will. Anyway, CR-10 300, Creality, thank you. You did a wonderful job. This has been a brilliant printer. I've had no serious issues with it other than things that I could fix. Bed adhesion, things of that nature. The bearings wearing out, you use a thing, it's going to wear. Anything, that's just how it goes. And I would strongly recommend this as a first printer because it came out of the box easy. There's massive amounts of information online to correct virtually anything. So if you're on the fence, I have found this to be a very, very good experience all the way through and continuing. So have a great day. I hope this helps you make a decision. Bye-bye.